Be the best you can be with superior training. Start your new career today as a tractor-trailer driver. With a combination of home study, classroom, and hands-on training weekdays and weekends, Superior Training puts you in the driver's seat as a professional truck driver. Get that superior feeling. Be a tractor-trailer driver. Call Superior Training Services today.
You wanna be on top, be the best you can be, superior.
Searching for real truck value? The leading consumer magazine believes in Toyota, and so do satisfied Toyota owners.
We had 186,000 miles on it. Never seen a vehicle that cost as little per mile. I believe in it real well.
Now your Toyota dealer wants to make a believer out of you with deals on their lowest price, 2-buys, 4-buys, and 4Runners. Come on over to Toyota for value you can believe in.
Well, I'd say you can't go wrong by getting a Toyota.
And a great deal. Who could ask for anything more?
Hi, I'm Bobby UNSER. The difference between winning or...
Good evening, Indiana. Police may be closing in tonight on the person who shot and injured a Pike High School teacher this afternoon. Channel 6 reporter Deborah Darnell is at the high school on the northwest side where the search is underway, and she joins us with this live report. Deborah?
Greg, at this hour, the leader of the Pike Township Band, Brad Hornaday, is in stable condition after surgery at St. Vincent's Hospital. Meanwhile, the SWAT team from Marion County is at Pike Township High School inside searching for the young suspect, believed to be about 15 years old, going room to room in that search. However, deputies tell me as time goes on, they're believing that indeed the suspect has escaped, is not inside. It was earlier today when teacher Brad Hornaday was inside the school and apparently surprised an intruder. Police say that intruder beat him with a hammer and then shot him in the head. It was shortly afterward that police apparently believed the attacker had been able to escape the school. But then, later in the evening, SWAT teams were called in when police found evidence that indeed the suspect might be inside.
The suspect may have been able to get up into a false ceiling. We really don't have anything beyond the initial disturbed ceiling tiles. What we're going to do is put some people into the building. They're going to check what they believe could possibly be a point of entry into the ceiling. If they detect any disturbance to the area up there, we're going to do a complete search of the ceiling of the building.
That complete search went on. They searched that room, found no one inside that false ceiling, but decided for safety's sake it was best to search the entire school. That is, again, going on now, right now, behind me, inside. We're not sure how long they will be there, but they say they're going to make sure he's in no area before they leave.
Deborah, tomorrow's a regular school day for most schools. What about there at Pike? Have they made any decision on whether or not to hold classes there because of all this?
Oh, they will hold classes indeed, but they will also maintain safety. I'm told that police officers will be inside the school. They'll make sure it's safe for students to go ahead and come into class. But no, Greg, there won't be any change on that. School will go on.
All right, Deborah Darnell with a live report from the northwest side at Pike High School. Thank you. Before the SWAT team members met at Pike High School tonight, they were called to an apartment complex just south of 86th Street. Police say they were called to the James Garrett residence in the Carrollton Courts apartments earlier today when Garrett reported a missing weapon. Then tonight, they were called back when neighbors reported hearing shots being fired from inside Garrett's apartment. Police say Garrett never had any hostages, but several neighbors were evacuated as a precaution. Garrett surrendered without incident. He'll be charged with criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. At the Speedway this evening, it was a nasty-looking wreck, but veteran Indy driver PANCHO Carter managed to walk away from it. Just minutes before the Speedway was scheduled to close this evening, Carter lost control of his March Cosworth entering the third turn. The car slid about 1,600 feet and then landed upside down in the middle of the fourth turn. Earlier in the day, Carter had reached a speed of just over 210 miles an hour, one of the day's best times. Carter was taken to Methodist Hospital for a precautionary x-ray and then was released. Coming up later in sports, we'll hear from Carter and his explanation of that wreck. In other news,
count on full season control without worry of carryover to injure next year's corn, milo, or wheat. Less cost than Lasso or Duo. Add it all up, Sonaland builds more value into your weed control program. Sonaland, your foundation for sharper full season weed control.
It's your Indianapolis Toyota dealers' Bass Pro Shops Catch the Big One sweepstakes. Grand prize, this exciting Bass buggy with motor and trailer, and a tough new Toyota limited edition 4x4 truck loaded with options. Or valuable first prizes from Bass Pro Shops. And right now, buy a selected Toyota truck and get a big $500 Bass Pro gift certificate from your Toyota dealer. Better hurry. Your Indianapolis Toyota dealers' Bass Pro Shops Catch the Big One sweepstakes ends May 30th.
A leading independent consumer publication torture-tested 32 mattresses for durability, lasting firmness, and value. This one came out number 1, the Beauty Rest by Simmons. And now you can have all the comfort and quality of a Beauty Rest at an exceptional value. Our Beauty Rest Classic is available for a limited time only.
Save now during Block's April home sale.
They're wined and dined, given expensive gifts, and brought to the finest hotels. They are the women who date other people's husbands. On the next Oprah Winfrey Show, meet the women who fall in love and have affairs only with married men. Why must they steal away someone else's partner? And how can you prevent it from happening to you? Get some marital advice straight from the mistresses' mouths on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
The Oprah Winfrey Show, weekdays at 4 on WRTV6.
People who know how those cars are built may not be surprised, but I'm astonished that Pancho Carter walked away without a scratch.
It really was a surprise, but it does tell you how safe those cars really are, despite what it may look like. Hello, everyone. The second day of practice was a tranquil one until the track was about to close. That was when Pancho Carter took a wild ride in turn 3. His car got loose entering the turn. He then spun, caught some air, became airborne, and landed smack dab on his head. Spun around upside down, finally smacked the wall in turn 3. A little brief fire in the engine compartment. Miraculously, Pancho walked away from this wreck and later told Kevin Madden what happened.
I don't know if it was the wind or what. I'd caught some traffic ahead of me and was actually going to come in the pits that lap, and the car got a little sideways coming off of turn 3, and when it did, it got airborne, turned upside down, and basically slid upside down all the way to turn 4, and hit a couple things on the way to turn 4, but didn't, other than taking the roll bar off the car's not hurt very bad.
How about you? Did you remain conscious through all of it, or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I was conscious through the whole thing, and it never really hit real hard upside down.
How is the car, Pancho, and what's going to happen there?
Well, I mean, if you could run the car without a roll bar, which is essentially what it is right now, the crew could repair it tonight and we could run tomorrow. I mean, it did not do any other damage to the car other than where the roll bar hooks on. It wrinkled some of the A-arm, which basically front end pieces bolt-on stuff, and rear wing, obviously, because it was upside down, it tore it all up, and it scraped the body up. But, I mean, the car could be run less roll bar tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
There was a similar wreck in today's Winston 500 at Talladega. Bobby Allison got airborne and into the catch fence, slinging debris into the stands, into the fans. Luckily, the car stayed on the track, causing a multi-car pileup. Allison was hit by another car. Now, again, miraculously, none of the drivers were hurt, although 2 spectators were taken to a hospital in Birmingham with injuries. It took track crews over 2.5 hours to repair the fence that Allison knocked down. There you see it right there. 2.5 hours later, the race started again, and Davey Allison, Bobby's son, won his first Winston Cup event, taking the Winston 500 at Talladega. Terry Labonte was second, and Kyle Petty was third. In basketball, the Milwaukee Bucks have eliminated the Philadelphia 76ers from the NBA playoffs, winning Game 5 today in Milwaukee. Dr. J did his best to keep his career going into the second round, the alley-oop slam dunk finishing with 24. But today, the Bucks were too strong. Craig Hodges, the home run from the corner as the Bucks start to pull away in this game. Maurice Cheeks will miss the jump shot for the Sixers. Terry Cummings pulls the long rebound and is off to the races, coast to coast. He lays it up and scores. The Bucks win this one 102-89. They take the series 3-2, and the crowd gave Dr. J a standing ovation as he left the playing floor for the final time in his career. In Utah, the Golden State Warriors advanced to the second round, beating the Jazz in Game 5. Joe Barry Carroll with the slam. He had 24 points. Warriors were up by 20 in the third. But then the Jazz came back. Darrell Griffith, home run from 3. And then the Warriors with the basketball, trying to get a good shot, but it is blocked. Utah comes up with it. Darrell Griffith pushes it up the floor and scores. The Jazz close to within 3, but Golden State perseveres. The shot was no good. Larry Smith who was a demon on the boards, gets a big rebound here, puts it back up and scores. Golden State advances to the second round, 118-113 over Utah. In today's only second-round game, the Detroit Pistons take Game 1 from the Atlanta Hawks. In the Omni, the Pacers must have worn Atlanta out. Pistons up by 1, shot clock running down. Isaiah Thomas hits the bomb. It was 1 up. Pistons were up by 3 at that point. Antoine Carr was posted for the Hawks. He hits the shot that cut the lead to 111-110. Mike Fratello was encouraging his ball club to come back and win this one, but not today. Isaiah hit 1 of 2 free throws with 16 seconds left to play to make it 112-111. The Hawks had their chance. Dominique Wilkins misses the shot. Randy Whitman gets the rebound, misses the shot. The Pistons win Game 1, 112-111. They take a 1-0 lead in that best-of-7 series. In baseball, Eric Davis of the Reds is making his bid for the Triple Crown. Now, I know it's early, but Davis is leading the league in the batting average, RBIs, and home runs with 12, including 3 today. In his second at-bat, Eric Davis goes the opposite field to right center. The Reds jumped out to a 4-0 lead. That is home run number 1 for Davis. Next time up, Davis had the bases loaded. Goodbye, left center field, his second grand slam in 3 days. He had 5 home runs in this series over the weekend. And then in his third time up, you got it, it's gone again. A solo shot this time. He was 4 for 5 on the day, 6 RBIs. The Reds win this game 9-6. Other score, Chicago beat San Diego 4-2. Tim Raines had another home run in his second game of the year since coming back from the free agent squabble. 2-0 the final today, Montreal over New York. Pittsburgh and San Francisco rained out. Atlanta beat Houston 5-3. Los Angeles and St. Louis were rained out. American League, Toronto over Texas. Chicago over Baltimore. Minnesota beat New York 4-3. Kansas City over Cleveland. California beat Boston 11-4. Oakland shut out Detroit. Seattle over Milwaukee 7-3. And in the American Association at Busch Stadium, the Indians knock off Iowa 6-5. And after what has happened on the racetracks today, let's be careful driving home.
All right, you've been busy today. Up next, talk about some of the stories we'll have for you tomorrow. Plus, we'll show you a barge full of garbage with no place to go.
If you ever wasted a Saturday trying to replace a cheap tension spring or a sheared pin, this needs to be your new mower. If you ever killed a Sunday by chewing up a drive belt or burning out a bearing, this needs to be your new mower. This is a John Deere, and because it's built so well, you can get some...